So we walk out this morning on a local loch, and really I'm just coming to sit in the sun and have my lunch, because the wind's in the east and cool, and this loch is extremely dour even on a good day. So I'm going to make lunch and sit in the sun and have a few casts and not get too worked up about anything, and just maybe we'll move a fish. So isn't it great to get out on such a lovely day for a bash at trout? And I think we should also have something of a celebration, because yesterday we heard the news that the super stoat who can't feel had his 50th salmon for the season, which is pretty good when you consider lockdown and whatnot, and the fact that it wasn't a season as most people know it, you know. Oh, I've caught a wee bit of weed. There's bits of weed out there, and I just haven't gone far enough along to miss them. So the super stoat had his 50th salmon yesterday, which is fantastic, especially in a season when there's a lockdown and when many people only got part of a season, you know, or almost everyone only got part of a season. So to get to this point for bananas and tea and stuff, I have to climb this hill. It looks like you can do it without climbing it, but experience tells me you can't. Oh dear. So having climbed the north face of the Eiger, I now drop down here for a few casts. It can be tricky down here because of the high banks behind you, you know. It doesn't make for great casting, and with this strong wind it reduces the options, but hey ho, that's the way it goes. Well, there comes a time in every fishing trip when it's time for tea and a banana. What I was actually watching was the sea eagle who came over the hill just off to the left, because it's a perfect day for eagles, because of course with the wind and the sun there's plenty of thermals and they like a dry day. So I've had the tea and the banana, and I'll have a few more casts here. What I'll actually mostly do is spend my time in the heather behind me, trying to find where my flies have gone. But sure, that's okay as well. I don't know what you find up there. I don't know in this loch whether sometimes the fish lie deeper. So I have a wee intermediate tip on, and sometimes a slow retrieve's worth a try, but to be honest, I don't think there's any formula that catches them. Just very occasionally you bump into an unlucky one, you know. So I've changed the flies to a claret sedgehog and a camzonery. I tend to go for brighter flies in this loch, and they're barbless. A chap here called John McLean, a fly tyer on Lewis, tied me up some barbless flies as an experiment. So if you're looking for flies, he's the man to talk to. But they are a great job. I'm getting tangled in my feet, that's why I'm kind of mumbling and getting on. But the barbless experiment, I don't really know how it's going yet, because to be honest I haven't had much trout fishing since I've come. I haven't caught a real trout since I got here. I've had sea trout and salmon, but not an actual brown trout, which is a bit odd, because really I'm mostly a brown trout angler who sometimes has a cast for the other stuff. But we'll see how they go for us. We'll get tomorrow, maybe the weather's to be more suitable for brown trout, so I think tomorrow might be a brown trout day, you know. We'll see where we head out. The other thing is, with the lockdown and whatnot, of course I haven't gone very far in quite some months, so I'm not really fit enough for brown trout yet, because brown trout tends to require a good bit of walking, whereas the salmon and sea trout usually doesn't. So it's much easier fishing for salmon and sea trout, because bridges usually cross the rivers, than it is for brown trout, where you're picking lochs that are sometimes miles and miles out across the moor, you know. Well, I hooked a wee fish, I think. I just nae big, but and he's off. So that doesn't say much for the barbless experiment. So I checked the hooks and they're all fine. The fish that I lost had come to the wee claret sedgehog. But like I say, I dropped them off. But maybe I'd have dropped them off anyhow. I don't have enough of a sample size to make any comment really at the minute. Come past my stick here to my next spot. Ah, well, I think I'll have some lunch. I haven't done much fishing yet, but you know, it's one of those days there isn't much chance really anyhow. So lunch looks to be the better option. Having had a tough morning, I kind of think that maybe once tea's finished, a nap might be the specific. So I'll maybe lounge around here a bit, lie back, take it easy, and you know, catch some Zeds. So having rested my eyes for a little while, I thought I'd make a few more casts before heading for home, you know. I'm not moving many fish, but as discussed, this is a really dour loch. Maybe the dourest in the Hebrides, I don't know. Nobody ever catches any fish on it. People do say, you know, that the fish come on and stuff like that, and I've no doubt these people are right, but I suspect any coming on that the fish do kind of happens while I'm drinking tea or asleep or something, because I never seem to catch anything. I think it's a unique feature of my fishing. Might be the only angler who never catches anything and doesn't worry about it. I think that'll do me for the day. It's probably, there's not much going on here, you know, and it was always going to be a difficult day, so I kind of wasn't too fussed about the fishing really. More come out just to get my lunch and a wee walk. So I think I'll head back towards the car and call it done for the day.